Good afternoon, this is the 2 p.m. Latin American news with Miguel and Ananke, and we're going to present the most relevant news related to the American war. And with Ananke, we're going to start with politics.
Well, the news of the day is Venezuela is going to do orphanages to shelter Palestinian children to have injured or lost their parents in the war. And Maduro, the president of Venezuela, called this a genocide against Palestinians. That's why they are going to help them.
Now, in cultural news, we have the news that Spain had returned to Colombia a very significant treasure related to almost 691 indigenous artifacts seized in a police operation 11 years ago. This operation was related to a gang member participant in drug wars, and about the relics, we can say that most of the ceramic items are of huge cultural and archaeological value. Now, let's see the economic news with our reporter, Carla.
Good afternoon. For Latin America's economy news, we got Brazil overtaking UK's economy. This nation's economy grew 2.7% last year. And Mexican vehicles analysts attribute insecurity as the first factor that limits economy in Mexico. On the other hand, Mexico has had a lot of manufacturing grew. Argentina is still suffering their debt crisis because of 2001 credit.
Now, let's see this report.
3 Chilean students create the first bicycle impossible to steal. These 3 engineering students still making some resistance tryouts with the bicycle and looking for some partners and investors to support this project.
In recent news, one of the most important hitmen of Pablo Escobar, John Jairo Velázquez, was released last week from the maximum security prison in Colombia at the age of 52.
So, in other news in Mexico, Pemex lost control of a well for extracting oil and gas in northern Veracruz. So thousands of liters of product are out. It was in Naranjo's Eagle 50, where thousands of barrels leaking uncontrollably. Despite of efforts by Pemex technicians, couldn't control it. The spill of this well adds to the deaths of thousands of marine species and mammals. In other news, Latin America is fighting against the poverty. Latin America, although is still behind Spain at improving most important social indicators, such as child poverty. In 2014, the poverty decreased in 40%, according to ECLAC. This with the successful implementation of public policies. This is to give money directly to families who invest in the education of their children. Just as in Brazil, that achieved to reduce the half of poverty and help more than 50 million Brazilians. This was applied in other countries, such as Colombia, Ecuador, and Mexico. Although poverty reduces country to country, for example, Argentina, Chile, Costa Rica, and Uruguay have 20%, and countries like Bolivia, Guatemala, Honduras, or Peru are 72% of child poverty.
Now the weather.